Hi, I'm Katie and welcome to episode 17 of MyDenmarkTV.com. Now, you may have noticed from previous episodes that it's been very hard for us to film anything without at least one cyclist appearing in the background. And as you saw as when we did the episode in Odense, I got back on my bike for the first time in a while. To some success. So this week we're back in Copenhagen to take on the city by two wheels. In fact, did you know that Copenhagen is on track to become the world's best cycle city by 2015? Already, 1 in 3 people in Copenhagen commute to work or study by bike, and the City Council hopes to increase that to at least 50% in the next 6 years. Liyuan went out to check out just why Danes love to hop on their bike, and because autumn's approaching and the days are getting shorter, I went out earlier this week to find out how I can keep myself safe while cycling in evenings. Biking is not just for the daytime either, and it's very common in Denmark to see people cycling home from an evening out, or even in the small hours of the morning coming home from the nightclub on their bike. Now, remember, it is actually illegal to cycle at night without visible lights both front and back on your bike. And trust me, when some people say, why bother, think of those wet, wintry evenings that are going to come up, and it'll be virtually impossible for any motorist to see you if you don't have lights on your bike. So we thought we'd come down here and give you some tips on how to get better biking at night. It's so easy to pick up some cheap, inexpensive lights for your bike. I just popped down to my local corner shop and I picked up a couple for around 30 kroner. It's very simple. You just pop the red one on the back of the bike so that the motorists behind can see you, and pop the white one onto the front. And you usually have a few different settings to choose from. I like mine to flash, but hey, it's your choice. But remember, neither the police nor other motorists are very fond of the little red light hanging off the back like a Christmas decoration. So remember, attach it properly so people can see you at night. You also have the option of getting slightly more expensive but longer lasting lights for your bike, such as these magnetic ones here. You can get them in any big department store or cycle shop, and they usually cost around 300 kroner. It basically works that the magnets on the bike wheel set off the light, and after a while, if you've been cycling for a while, it'll actually keep the light going for a few minutes even when you stop. I'm all suited up with my bike lights. I'm ready for an evening on the town. As we've seen, cycling is a very easy way to get around, but it's also a popular way of seeing the country and taking a holiday. Taking a cykeltur or a bike trip around is made all the more easier by the fact the country is so flat. So all you really need is a good pair of panniers like these to carry all your stuff, some leg muscles and a good map, and you can have a relatively inexpensive holiday. Along the way, you might choose to stay in one of the many campsites or camping places, or you could choose to make use of one of the many hostels, which are known as vandrehjem. Now, it's a very nice area to see, and there's so many different places you can cycle, but some of the easier and more popular ones will be the South Islands of Funen and the southern area of Jutland, close to the German border. But maybe you don't want to take a long trip around Denmark, maybe you're just looking for a day trip. If so, the City of Copenhagen has provided this really great map you can download for free from their website. And don't worry, we'll show you the link again and all the other resources from today's show on our website. But the map itself is in English, which is also great, and it shows you the different cycle routes, the cycle paths around the city, and even some of the more picturesque green areas that you can cycle in, which is great for first-time cyclists. And speaking of which, if you are new to the game, maybe you want to know just why is it so popular? What makes the Danes like to do it so much? If so, Liyuan has gone out to check for us today and talk to some Danes about why they like to cycle so much.
It's 6 o'clock in the evening and I'm standing here. As you can see, there are still so much traffic. You know, as we mentioned before, public transportation in Copenhagen is actually very convenient. But why is there so many people biking here? Let's go ahead and find out. Do you bike every day to work?
Yes.
Do you bike to work?
Yes. Just 7 minutes every day.
So why do you bike actually?
Because it's a lot cheaper and you feel happy when you get back home. It's nice to exercise and get your body moving. and it's a nice way to get some fresh air. And Copenhagen is a really good city for biking. You have big biking paths, and they've done so many good things. So it's really fast. You get ahead a lot faster than taking the metro or anything. So yeah.
Because it's practical for me. It's instead of taking the bus, it's much quicker. I can go and come and go anytime I want. So it's very, I like that, and I get a little exercise. I like that too.
Because it's faster and I enjoy the fresh air. So yeah, and you get to see the city a lot more, I think. So and you don't get to wait in line for the bus, so you get a bit less stressed, I think.
It's the fastest way to get around in the city, and it gives a little bit of exercise every day also, and it's safe here in Copenhagen, mostly safe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any good tips for someone who just come to Copenhagen?
Yeah, it's a good way to experience the city to go by bike. You just have to be careful, watch out for traffic, but it's a fast and easy way to get around.
Just follow the biking law. Yes, and stop when it's red. Yeah, I don't know really. I don't know. Yeah, just be careful.
Okay. Well, you have the Copenhagen bikes, so you can travel, you can ride along, and I think Copenhagen is a nice city to bike in, and many bicycle paths. So I think it's a nice town to bike in Copenhagen.
Yeah, so people actually should try to bike here in Copenhagen instead of taking public transportation.
Yes, they do. Yes.
All right. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a nice day. Have a nice.
But maybe you're just in the city for a day trip, or have just moved here and don't have a bike yet. Well, don't worry, there's still plenty of fun ways to get around and see the city on two wheels. The easiest is to get one of the city's free bikes. All you need is a 20 kroner coin, and you can take the bike for as long as you want. Each comes with a handy map, which shows you some of the more interesting tourist spots. It also shows you where the limits are of where you can take the bike, because they don't really want you cycling it down the other end of the country. It's a great way to get around, and all you have to do is remember to drop it back to another collection point. You can also rent a bike for a day, a week, or even more from one of the city's many rental shops, such as Rent a Bike or Cykelbörsen. Both of these websites have a lot of information in English, and they also give you the opportunity to rent many cycle accessories like children's helmets. Or if you'd like to take things just a little bit easier, you could always hop in one of these handy cycle taxis. Depending on the journey, it could cost 50 to 100 kroner, or if you want to rent one for an hour, they'll take you out for about 300 kroner. It's a great way, especially for us ladies, late at night coming home from the nightclub in those killer heels. Perfect way to get around. Well, that cycle taxi certainly gave me good value for money. I've had a great tour of the city. To learn more about today's show, including all the web resources we've given you, check out our website, MyDenmarkTV.com, where you can also subscribe to the show, share an episode with your friends, leave a comment for us, or a question that you'd like us to answer, and we'll do our best to get to all of you. Join us again next week when the Olympics comes to town, and we'll be looking more into student life in the city. Until then, bye-bye. We're here in Copenhagen in the city to take on the city. I'm definitely getting exercise in this episode.